Today, let's talk about imposter syndrome. This term is not a new thing, but I have noticed more and more people are talking about it, which is great. It can be a real problem for many of us. But the good news is that there are ways to conquer it. So what about you? Do you feel like you're faking it? Do you feel like you're a fraud and everyone is about to find out the truth about you? That's the feeling of imposter syndrome, and it's what we're going to tackle in this video. If imposter syndrome is something you struggle with, stay tuned. If you're new to my channel, I'm a family doctor and a wellness expert, and part of my work is in support of other wellness entrepreneurs and health coaches on their journey to building a career and a life they love. And I have noticed a lot of health coaches struggle with imposter syndrome, especially new coaches, and it can really hold you back from achieving your full potential. Today, I have 4 tips for beating imposter syndrome, so let's get started. For starters, it can be helpful to know that many people, famous people, highly respected people, have publicly admitted that they have imposter syndrome. Those of us who experience the discomfort of imposter syndrome often feel like we are the only ones who feel like imposters, but the opposite is true. There's a very good chance that other people in the room, at your meeting, your social event, the conference, feel the exact same way. Michelle Pfeiffer is quoted as saying, "I still think people will find out that I'm not really very talented. I'm not really very good. It's all been a big sham." The former Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Margaret Chan, has said, "There are an awful lot of people out there who think I'm an expert. How do these people believe all this about me? I'm so aware of all the things I don't know." And I have suffered imposter syndrome myself, so I know how this feels. I have found that keeping in mind that so many other people struggle with the same thing, it really helps to keep everything in perspective and to not feel so alone in this. Another strategy for conquering imposter syndrome is to recognize the benefits of being a novice. It's not something we often think about, but the truth is there can be a distinct advantage to being new in your field. A novice has fresh eyes, fresh perspective, and may think of things in a way that someone who has been in a given field for a long time may not. So you may be a new health coach, but if you've just completed your training, you've had access to the most recent information, the most recent research, and new findings, which can be a definite advantage over someone who's been doing things the same old way for a long time. A third way to combat imposter syndrome is to focus more on what you're learning than on how you're performing. This is known as a learning mindset versus a performance mindset. With a performance mindset, you tend to see the mistakes you make as evidence of your underlying limitations, and that only fuels your imposter syndrome. But if you can cultivate a learning mindset, you will begin to see your mistakes as an inevitable part of the learning process, an opportunity for growth rather than just more evidence of your failing. Finally, practicing healthy coping skills can definitely help cool those overwhelming feelings that come with imposter syndrome. I'm talking about seeking emotional support from your network, exercising regularly, practicing mindfulness, getting enough sleep, and those kinds of strategies. I did a previous video on stress management, and I go into more detail on some of those techniques, so go ahead and check that out. I'll put a link below. As for one of the strategies I just mentioned, leaning on your support network, if you think you need more of that, you might be interested in joining my growing online community, my Facebook group called Health Coach Squad. We are a tribe of very friendly, very supportive health coaches and wellness entrepreneurs. We share information and tips and do challenges to grow our businesses and just generally lift each other up. If that sounds interesting to you, then we would love to have you. I'll put the link to that group below also. Okay, so there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Be sure to hit the like button and click subscribe so you get notified every time I release a new video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.